All right, so we're in April of 2021. We're gonna take a look at the real estate market update for this month, take a look at the last few months, see where we have been, see where we're headed, and what you can do to make the best decisions as a home buyer, seller, or investor here on the Central Coast of California. We're gonna keep this short and simple. Let's go ahead and get into it. I'm Joshua Ferris with Atlas Real Estate. All right, so if you are on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe, and most importantly, go down to that bell icon and select all for notification. Really helps this channel out a lot, and it gives you a chance to see new videos when they come out. All right, so let's go ahead and start with some numbers and then explain why we are here. We're gonna take a look at new listings, month supply, sales price, days on market, and how that all works together to get us and explain us where we're at right now. And like I said, explain where we might be headed. So real simple, let's pull it up on the screen here. Let's go ahead and start with new listings. So when we take a look at new listings based on last year in 2020 of March, we had 914 new listings. Now this year it's quite a bit less. We have 349 new listings, February 296, and January 260. So stark contrast from this time last year, but we are seeing a trend like we would typically see January, February, March. We're seeing an increase of new listings reaching the market. Now, with new listings, new inventory, what is that doing? What are we seeing as far as the demand? Well, if we take a look at the days on market, that gives us a good idea, a good perspective on that kind of demand and whether or not they are purchasing. There are buyers out there to purchase the listings. So if we take a look at the month supply, March 1.2, February 1.3, January 1.4. But what's important is let's take a look at what we were at this time last year, March of 2020. In March of 2020, we were almost 3 times the amount, days on month supply, 3.5. So that's a big difference. So generally speaking, Central Coast is a pretty high demand area, so we're gonna see a month supply that's a little bit lower than we might see in other areas. But a 3-month supply generally means it's still a seller's market. When you start to get to that 4-month supply, it means it's starting to be even, buyer-seller market. But when you're around a month supply, that really means it's a seller's market. And considering we're a third of what we were last year, that really tells us something that there's still a great demand even as inventory is increasing. So month supply, new listings. What's another important one? Median days on market. So in March we had 8, February we had 11, January we had 16. So we are getting, you're selling a home. So if you're a seller, you're putting a home on the market, and the median days on market is only 8. Well, what does that tell us about this time last year? March of 2020, median days on market was 34, which is a big difference, right? So we're seeing that if you are a seller and you're putting your house on the market, you're gonna get it sold very quickly. And what are you going to sell it for? Well, we're seeing a trend upwards when it comes to the sales price. So let's take a look at that. Sales price March of 2021, $737,000. $737,000. February, $700,000. $968 in January. That over the 6 month, we've seen a 13% increase in that sales price. So if you are a seller and you're looking to sell, now is a great time. If you are looking to buy, understand that there's a lot of competition out there. In order to best situate yourself to actually get an offer that's accepted, you're gonna have to do a few things. Make sure that you are pre-qualified, make sure that you are ready and able to submit that offer, and understand that you may have to go above asking price in order to get that property. What has caused this? Well, let's go ahead and take a look. AB 3088 is the eviction moratorium there here in California. It has been extended to June 30th, 2021. We've also seen a lot of money come through the state to help out landlords and help out renters. But what that has done is it also has decreased the inventory. It's more difficult to sell a property with a tenant in there, and typically if you're a landlord and you're looking to sell your property, you give notice to your tenants saying, hey, I'm going to sell this property, just want to give you that heads up. and they can have that time 60 days to find another property to rent or to purchase. In this case, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get that eviction, and so that has been one of the reasons, and that has been the case for the last year. So that's one of the reasons why we have seen a decrease in inventory. Another reason is we're seeing a lot of people move from the big cities here to the central coast of California, where you have a bigger lot. You generally can buy more. So if you're in San Francisco, San Jose, or LA County, you're going to be able to move here, especially if you're able to work remotely, and you're able to get a pretty big house, and you're going to be able to get some coastal real estate, which a lot of people are looking to get. So we're seeing some trends, some shifts as far as what people want. Generally, people are wanting a little bit more land, like I've talked about previously, and so they're moving out of the big cities, selling their homes there, and relocating to places like the central coast of California. We're also seeing not as many people are moving out of the area. There are still a lot of people, but they're not moving as much out of the area. You know, this is a pretty ideal place to live, as many of you know. So people are wanting to move in. It's creating a lot more demand than the inventory there. But we are seeing in San Luis Ranch, we're seeing the new builds go up there. They've been framed, so we're going to see some new inventory coming up on the market pretty soon. When the new inventory hits, just like supply and demand, I'm expecting the prices to drop a little bit, especially with older single-family homes. So keep that in mind. If you do own a single-family home and you're looking to sell anyway, now might be a good time to do it before they have all of this new construction built. Now, it's not going to drastically change it, but as we know, more supply, same amount of demand, the price has to go down a little bit and to meet that market. So gives us a little bit of an update. Trends in the future, I anticipate there's still going to be a strong demand for housing here on the central coast of California. I think that once this eviction moratorium is up, let's see if they extend it out for a longer time period. You know, they may extend it out for a whole nother year or put some restrictions on it. We're going to see that inventory still remain low. But we're seeing once this AB 3088 changes, then we're going to see a lot more houses get brought to the market, and that's going to increase the inventory. We're also seeing with the new builds that's going to do that as well. So I still anticipate for the months foreseeable to have high levels of demand and lower inventory. So if you're a seller, you know, now's a great time to sell, of course. And then if you are a buyer, you know, understand that this is going to be a competitive market. So make sure that you're pre-qualified, preferably pre-approved for a loan before you start going and looking out there. Now, what are some of the my perspectives on this? Well, if you're a buyer and you're not looking to live in a house for at least 5 years, right? If you're looking to buy something and then sell it within a couple of years, now might not be the ideal time to buy. But if you're looking for a long-term perspective to buy a house and live in it for past 5 years, I think now, you know, now's a good time to buy, but understand that you're buying towards the top of the market. But then again, Central Coast is always going to be a place in demand. Generally, we're in a little bit more of a shielded bubble than we are than other areas in California or in the country. So just keep that in mind. I think for the next couple months, like I said, expect a strong seller's market for us here on the Central Coast. It's a little bit of the update here for Central Coast, San Luis Obispo County. Let's take a look at a few homes that are that I think are really interesting and that have a lot of potential. And let's do a quick little San Luis Obispo Central Coast home highlight.